Hi, I'm Kimberly if you're new to me, and this is Clara. And today's practice is a grounding practice. So I'm going to recommend a couple blocks if you have them, a tennis ball or a massage ball, and if you like a bolster for Shavasana, grab a bolster or a big old pillow, and let's get started in a comfortable tall seat, please. Maybe sitting on a bit of support. Reach back, pull the flesh away from your sitting bones. And let's rest your right hand on your low belly, left hand at your heart. Right hand on your low belly, left hand at your heart. Allow the spine to grow nice and tall. Allow the back of the body to soften down towards the earth. And notice if your head is leaning forward towards your screen. So sliding the corners of your neck back, stacking your head right over your heart, grow taller. Let's take an inhale together. And open the mouth, let it go. Let's do that again, smooth inhale. And out the mouth, let it go. Closing the lips softly. Finding a smooth inhale through the nose. And through the nose, empty all the breath out. A little pause at the bottom. Through the nose, a smooth inhale. A pause at the top. And through the nose, a nice smooth exhale. Pause at the bottom. And continuing just like that. Finding some avriti this morning. A bit of an even inhale, exhale. Without forcing, just inviting. Each exhalation, what can you soften? What can you soften? Maybe it's your skin. Maybe it's the muscles around your eyes. Let's slide your bottom hand up to stack at your top hand, please. Both hands resting at the seat of your heart. And from your heart, calling to mind your heartfelt intention, dedication, or prayer for your practice, your day, or out into the world. Let's begin our practice with 3 Om sounds. So there is a beginning, a middle, and an end. First, a breath. Take a nice inhale. And let it go. Exhale. Inhale. Bowing your thinking mind to your heart. Relaxing your hands down to your knees, your lap, blinking your eyes to open. And let's shift the shins to one side. Make your way into Balasana, child's pose, please. The knees might be wide, the knees might be together. You choose. One will feel better for you. And this might change throughout your practice this morning. But really make a choice that allows you to really surrender towards the earth, to be held. If there's any gripping, you might support under the knee, shins, ankles, or behind the knee, shins, ankles. And as the forehead receives the earth, you might gently rock the forehead from side to side. Allowing the shoulders to soften. And imagine there was a 10-pound weight draping on your tailbone. Allowing the hips to get heavier to the earth. And send your breath into the back of the body. Send your breath into the back of the body. And then with your arms stretching forward, gaze between your thumbs and inhale forward to a tabletop position. Hands and knees position on the mat. Wrists under your shoulders. And notice your upper arms. Are you rounding your shoulders in? And you might even look at the creases of your wrists. Make sure the creases of your wrists line up with the front edge of your yoga mat. The upper arms rolling open towards the sides of the room. So the collarbones can broaden here. Sternum bone can lengthen. Keep that and anchor your knees, shins, tops of the feet down to the earth. Let's take some cat-cows. As you inhale, draw your heart forward. A little back bend. And as you exhale, round the spine, press the floor away. A little pause at the bottom. Again, inhale, draw your heart forward, a little pause at the top. And exhale, round the spine, pausing at the bottom. And continuing nice and easy at the rhythm of your breath. You might even close your eyes to feel deeper, to see deeper. And I want to give the invitation to begin to make circles with the spine or circles with the torso. So if this is unfamiliar, you might take a peek. So the spine or the entire cage, the ribs is rounding, almost like you're tracing the insides of a barrel. And the head might even move in the opposite direction here. Just an option. Of course, if this doesn't feel good in your body, change what needs to be changed. And when you feel ready, we'll reverse those circles. Reverse those circles. Good. Until eventually you feel nice and even. And we'll come back to that cat-cow when you're ready. So inhale, draw your heart forward. And exhale, round, continuing just like that. Inhale, draw your heart forward. And exhale, round. This time, inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, round. Now let's inhale to a nice long spine. Walk your hands one handprint forward. Shift the shoulders right over your wrists. Take an inhale here. Press the floor away. Feel the strength of your arms. And one piece lower all the way to your belly, please. All the way down. Elbows tack back. All the way down you go. Clip your toenails down to the earth. And as you inhale, rise to cobra, please. Rise to cobra. And you might even lift your hands off the earth. Make sure your upper back is working. Collarbones are broadening. Back of the neck is lengthening. And then plant your hands down and isometrically drag the mat back as the heart lengthens forward. You might even wiggle a little bit through your side waist, grow a little longer, just an option. Okay. And then when you're ready, take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, lower forward and all the way down to the earth. Plant your hands as you inhale, tabletop position. And exhale, child's pose. We'll keep a little movement in the body. Listen carefully, Chakravakasana. As you inhale, draw your heart forward to cow pose. Good. And exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. And do that again. Inhale, draw your heart forward, cow pose. And exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. Very nice. This time, inhale, come forward to a tabletop position. Hands and knees position on the mat. Let's slide your right leg back, curl the toes under. You might press or pulse out through the heel. We haven't stretched the backs of the legs out yet. Might feel really, really nice. And then breathe your right leg parallel to the floor. Wrap all 5 toes down, hug your inner thighs together, and get longer from heel to the crown of your head. Gaze is at the top edge of your yoga mat. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, round knee to nose. On an inhale, send it back, gaze forward, maybe a little back bend. 3 more. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. 2 more. Exhale, round. Inhale, send it back. Once again, exhale, round. Inhale, send it back, and this time we'll step it through. If it doesn't make it, give it a little help, or you might even bring your hands to blocks. If you have shorter arms like I do, it's really tricky to step the foot through. Front knee right over the ankle. Curl your toes under. Pick up that back knee, scooch it back a little bit so you're on the very top edge of the patella. You're not sitting right on the kneecap. And please, please, please pad the knee if you need to. Good. Draw your sternum bone forward. And I want to give the option to stay right here. Or let's heel toe your right foot about 6 inches to the right, walking your hands or maybe even blocks inside that right foot. If this feels a bit too much, stay in that runner's lunge shape. Good. We're going to pulse a little bit in and out of this shape, beginning to ease into psoas this morning. So as you inhale, draw the hips back a little bit. Good. And as you exhale, curl tailbone under, wave your heart forward. Great. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, ease the hips back. It doesn't have to be very big. And exhale, wave the heart forward. 2 more, please. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale to stay. Collarbones nice and broad. And I want to give the option to stay right here. Or plant your left hand down. Bring your right palm to the top of your right thigh. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, press your right palm down. Begin to turn your heart to the right. Begin to turn your heart to the right. Keep the collarbones broad. Find a little cobra in your upper back. And I want to give the option to reach that arm to the sky. You can always keep it on the thigh, it's fine. Keep reaching up. Maybe you take a little peek down, gaze at the earth. And from the reach of your top arm, option to float your back knee up. Keep hugging your inner thighs together. Roll your gaze to the side wall if that's you. Keep that cobra in your upper back. Reach your left heel back. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, lower your right hand all the way down. Heel toe your right foot back to that runner's lunge. Downward facing doggy, please. Downward facing dog. You might walk it out, bending 1 knee at a time. Good. Child's pose. Knees wide. Child's pose. Rest. So resting is just as, if not more important than the doing, right? You can only do so much. We really need that rest. So rest when you're tired. With your next inhalation, let's draw ourselves forward to that tabletop position. Hands and knees position on the mat. Good. Keep the collarbones broad, upper arms rolling open, and we'll slide that left leg back. Might feel really yummy to curl the toes under, to press or pulse. And then when you're ready, shoulders right over the wrists. Inhale that left leg parallel to the floor, please. Good. Hug your inner thighs together, all 5 toes tacked down. And as you exhale here, navel draws in and up, grow longer. Let's take an inhale together. As you exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, send it back, maybe a little back bend here. Good. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. 2 more. Exhale, round. Inhale, reach it back. 1 more, full one. Exhale, round. Inhale, reach it back. And this time we'll exhale, step it through. If it doesn't make it, give it a little help or bring your hands to blocks. Totally cool. Curl your back toes under, please. And pick up your back knee, scooch it back. Lower it down. Draw your sternum bone forward. Good. Make sure this is okay for your knee. Option to stay right here or heel toe your left foot about 6 inches to the left, almost to the edge of your yoga mat. You might walk your hands or even blocks inside that shin. But sometimes that shin likes to widen out, so keep the shin hugging in towards the midline or towards your center. With your next inhale, draw the hips back a little bit. Good. And as you exhale, curl tailbone under, wave your heart forward. Nice and easy, with the support of the breath, always. Inhale, draw the hips back, inner thighs roll back and apart. And as you exhale, curl tailbone under, wave your heart forward. Good. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And last time. Inhale. And exhale to stay. You might stay here or plant your right hand down and bring your left palm to the top of your left thigh. Let's take an inhale here, grow longer. And as you exhale, press your left palm down, turn your heart to the left. As we take a little pause here, keep the collarbones broad. A little cobra in your upper back. Maybe the corners of the neck lean back. Good. Maybe that arm reaches up. It doesn't have to. Great. Perhaps you take a little peek down at the earth. And from the reach of that top arm, maybe that back knee floats. Good. Keep hugging your inner thighs together. Roll your gaze to the left. Lean back. And then maybe the gaze lifts towards your top hand thumb. Good. Keep hugging your right heel in towards the center. Good. Take 1 more inhale. When you're ready, reach up more. And as you exhale, lower that left hand all the way down. Heel toe that left foot back to a runner's lunge. If the knee is down, you might lift it up. Downward facing doggy, please. Downward facing dog. You might walk it out, bending 1 knee at a time. And then softening the knees, gazing between your hands. Let's take a very slow walk forward to the backs of our wrists. I'll meet you in a ragdoll or a forward fold shape. Allow the upper body to drape over the low body. You might catch hold of opposite elbows. You might even catch behind your knees or your calves here if that feels good. What do you need in this moment, in this breath? Or notice if the mind is wandering. If that's you, come back to the breath. You might switch the crossing of your elbows. You might snuggle in more. And what can you let go of here? Maybe that's the weight of your arms. Maybe it's the weight of your head, really inviting the musculature of the neck to relax here. We spend so much of our day holding our head up. And sometimes our head moves forward towards the computer screen and the back of the neck grips so tightly to try to keep it in balance. So invite those muscles to soften here. Keep the knees bending forward, back body draping. Take an inhale, fill your back, please. And as you exhale, roll it up, vertebrae by vertebrae. The back of the head is the last to rise. And once it does, inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And as you exhale, hands to your heart. Samastitihi. Good. Relax your arms down, finding Tadasana in your feet. We'll bring the feet hip bone distance apart today. And take a moment here. You might close your eyes or find a soft gaze down the bridge of your nose. And notice how your feet are kissing the earth. Lifting up your toes, spreading them wide. Rooting in the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, center of your heels. Inviting the arches of your feet to softly lift. And spreading the toes all the way down to the earth. But also softening them as if the toes were resting on a sheet of white paper and it's not indenting the paper. Good. Allow the ankles to engage, to lift a bit. Knees are unlocked. The legs are telescoping up into the bowl of the pelvis. Let's place one hand on your low belly, one hand on your sacrum, that triangular plate at the base of your spine. And notice if you're tipping your buttocks back, or if you're tucking tailbone under. We played with this a little bit last week. So can you find that nice neutral pelvic bowl, as if that bowl was filled with fluid and you didn't want to allow it to spill. Right? From here, unwind your arms, bring your attention up to the cage of the ribs, and what would it feel like to stack the rib cage right over the pelvic bowl, and the head right over your heart, grow taller. Let's take an inhale through your nose here, and open the mouth, let it go. And as we bake here, another breath or two, just notice Tadasana, mountain poses, standing pose, right? The basis of all of our standing poses in our yoga. Come back to it occasionally and see if it changes or if it's the same. So when you're ready, blink your eyes to open, and if you have a ball or a tennis ball, or I have a massage ball, you'll find your ball. If you need a wall for support here, you might bring yourself closer to a wall or to a chair as well. And you'll take that ball, it doesn't really matter to me which foot you start with, I always start with my dominant foot. And you'll place the ball underneath where the big toe and the sole of the foot connect, or the first metatarsal, and curl your toes around the ball. And if you can't see, let me know, I'll bring my screen a little bit closer. So curl the toes around the ball. You might even roll it to the tips of the toes, brain points in the tips of the toes. And you can curl it to the second and third metatarsals. So where that big toe connects to the sole of the foot is a neck point in reflexology. And we have sinus points. And then as you move out towards the fourth and fifth toe, we have eye and ear points on that side of the body. You might move out to your sixth toe. I'm just kidding. Okay. And then you might roll it back and forth over the entire length of the metatarsals, the padding of the toes. Good. And then we'll bring the ball to the inner arch of the foot, where the big toe connects to the foot all the way to the heel. And we'll begin to roll. You choose your pressure. Notice the leg that you're weight bearing on. Try not to lock out that knee, please. Good. So the inner arch are spinal points on that side of the body. You might even notice if there's tenderness anywhere, and you might bake there, make little rolls. Or you can press and release, just don't bake into it for too long. And then let's loop it around towards the heel. You might press and release a couple times. And then we'll roll it around to the outer arch. The outer arch of the foot. Be mindful not to sickle your foot. I like to bend my standing knee a little more, but if your quad starts to talk to you, change it. So the outer arch are limb points on that side of the body. The hip point is towards the front edge of the heel. Good. And you're welcome to play there, or bring the ball to the sole of the foot and bring it all the way back towards the heel, and imagine that ball was covered in paint. And we're going to begin to paint every square inch of the foot. So I like to bring the ball from the heel to the big toe, heel to the second toe, heel to the third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, and then back. You might lean into it, you might not. Okay. A lot of important organ points on the bottom of the feet. Combing that out. If you've been doing a lot of walking lately, as I have, hopefully this feels really yummy. Good. And then when you are ready, we'll set the ball to the side. Find Tadasana. You might close your eyes. And notice the side of the body that you just combed out. And not just the foot, all the way up to the crown of the head. And just notice. Does it feel the same or different? Okay. And when you are ready, you can blink your eyes to open. You might give that leg a little bit of a shake, releasing any stuckness. And we were standing on this other leg for a while, so you might give that leg a nice shake. Good. And I guess we should probably do the other side. So when you're ready, move the ball over to your other foot. You might once again use support here. And we'll start at the first, at the big toe, the first metatarsal. So curling the toes around. Once again, that's a neck point. And you might roll it to the tips of the toes as well. It's a brain point. Always so interesting to me that we have brain points with the tips of the toes, and a lot of women's cute shoes are pointy. Something to think about. Can roll it to the second and third sinus points, and fourth and fifth. Good. And then across the entire length of the metatarsals. Good. And eventually finding the inner arch, rolling it up and down. If you find a spot, you might circle or press and release. Good. We are on the ball today. Good. You can always stay longer if you find something interesting. When you're ready, we'll bring it back to the heel. We'll press and release a couple times. Good. And then we'll loop it around to the outer arch. No rush. Good. Once again, the outer arch are limb points. We have the hip points up there, shoulders and neck towards the top of the foot. Good. And then when you're ready, bring the ball back to the heel once again, and we'll paint every square inch of the foot. So heel to big toe, heel to second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, sixth toe. Just kidding again. Good. Really combing out the entire length of the foot about a dozen times. Great. And then when you feel ready, we'll move the ball to the side. Find Tadasana. You might close your eyes. And just notice. Does it feel the same or different than when we first started? Are you more grounded, less grounded? Notice your edges. Are they softer, the same? Good. Crown of the head rising. Great. And when you're ready, blink your eyes to open. Shake out anything that needs shaking. Shake out anything that needs shaking. And a beautiful thing that happens when we comb out the fascia at the bottom of the feet, it really affects the fascia on the back line of the body. So it might allow your hamstrings to be a little more supple. So we'll just play with that a little bit without going crazy. So finding Tadasana once again. Relax your arms down alongside the body. Let's take an inhale through your nose, please. And open the mouth, let it go. Good. On an inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, bend your knees, bow forward, all the way down you go. Good. On an inhale, halfway rise, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to the floor or shins or to your thighs. Good. Exhale, fold. We'll stay low. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway rise, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold. Good. And last time, inhale, halfway rise, stay here. As you exhale, bend your knees, sink your hips in line with your knees or lower. Walk your hands up to your thighs and press your arms just straight. So now we're in a chair pose. Good. I want to give the option of keeping the feet hip bone distance, or you might heel toe the big toes, inseams of the legs together. When we hug in towards the center, it can create a little more stability in the pelvic bowl. From here, allow your heart to rise, maybe the arms lift, a nice wide V. You can always goal pose to bring your hands to your hips, totally fine. Take a nice inhale. Take a nice exhale. Make sure you can see your big toes. Make sure you can see your big toes. If you can't, you have to wait a little bit back. Good. Take a nice inhale. Take a nice exhale. Good. Root down into the earth. As you inhale, come all the way up to stand. And as you exhale, open the arms wide. Tadasana. Beautiful. Inhale through the nose. And out the mouth, let it go. Good. Inhale, chair pose, sit low. Good. As you exhale, forward fold, straightening your legs. On an inhale, halfway rise. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your right leg way back, runner's lunge. Right leg way back, runner's lunge. And you might need to heel toe your left foot a little bit wider to the left if the big toes were together. Inner thighs hugging together. As your right heel reaches towards the back of the room, draw your sternum bone forward towards the front of the room. Good. Pivot your right heel flat, heel to arch alignment. And we're going to windmill open to warrior 2 from the ground up. If you get stuck, use your hands or turn to the right and come all the way up. Good. Let's bring the hands to the hips here. Bring your hands to your hips. So your front knee is right over the ankle. You might even bring your hands back to the bowl of your pelvis, one hand on your low belly, one hand on your sacrum. Can you find that nice neutral pelvic bowl? And notice if that changes anything in that back leg. Good. Bring your hands back to your hips. As you root down into the earth, keep the side waist nice and long. Crown of the head rising to the sky. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, hinge right over your front thigh. We'll bring a forearm to the thigh here. Side angle pose. Good. Roll your top hip open a bit. Now let's reach the arm to the sky. Good. You might stay here, reaching up more, or option to roll that top palm forward and inhale that arm alongside the ear. Good. Now, feel your feet in the earth. Root your feet down. And what would it feel like to widen your mat apart? And from that width, stretch longer to your fingertips. Good. Rolling your bottom ribs towards your top ribs. Breathe. If you're only doing one thing here, let it be breathing. Good. 75 more breaths. I'm just getting 2 more breaths. Gaze can be wherever feels good. nice inhale here. As you exhale, gaze down, reach your top arm to the sky. Let's inhale to a warrior two, please. Good. Straighten your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips, parallel your feet. You might heel toe your feet, one heel toe closer. Bend your knees forward. Tack your elbows back. On an inhale, lift your heart, look up. And as you exhale, bow forward, hands to the earth or blocks. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, fold in. Prasarita Padottanasana A, or wide-legged fold. Head and neck relaxing down towards the earth, and maybe all the way to the earth. Breathe. Good. And notice where the weight is in your feet. If the weight is all the way back towards your heels, what would it feel like to shift the weight a little bit forward towards your toes? Just notice. And then shift the weight a little more towards the center of your foot, really to be very specific, towards the front edge of your heel, the base of the arch. Front edge of the heel, base of the arch. Walk your hands right under your shoulders. As you inhale, press the floor away. Listen carefully, a little bit of a different transition today. As you exhale, lunge or bend into your right knee, that front knee. Pivot everything forward towards the top of your mat, runner's lunge. Good. And we're going to send this left leg up and back to three-legged dog. Up and back, three-legged dog. Wrap all 5 toes down and keep sinking that left heel back and down. If you're on a different leg, that's fine. Go ahead, bend your top knee like you're going to kick yourself in the buttocks. And see what it feels like to roll that hip open. To roll that hip open. Good. You might even take a little peek underneath your right armpit, see if you can see that right foot. And if you can see that foot, we'll get a little more into psoas here. Move the foot a little bit away from the body and lift the thigh bone up. See how that feels. Does that change anything? You might start to feel it a little bit higher up towards the abdomen. Good. And then re-square that leg, re-square the hip. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, set the foot down. Let's set the knees down. Child's pose, please. Child's pose. Rest. Really, really rest. Okay. Great. Downward facing dog, please. Downward facing dog. Soften your knees, gaze between your hands. Bottom of your next exhale, stepping or lightly floating to the top of your mat. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sit low, inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. We'll stay for the exhale. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, open your arms wide. Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. Moving right along, bend your knees, sit low. Inhale, chair pose. Listen carefully. As you exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Glue your thumb knuckles to your sternum bone. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, hinge a little bit forward, either twist a little bit, or you might hook your left elbow outside that right thigh. Just an option. But take a little peek at your left kneecap. Keep lifting your left buttocks up and back. Beautiful. Find a little cobra in your upper back. So nice. Take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, unwind, fold forward. You might straighten your legs here. Good. Second side, bend the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Good. As you exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Glue your thumb knuckles to your sternum bone. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, hinge forward, either twist a little bit, or you might hook that right elbow outside that left thigh, yogi's choice. Take a peek at your right knee. If it's moving forward, reach your right buttocks up and back. Lean back. Take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, unwind, lower your hands down, straightening your legs. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, left leg steps way back, runner's lunge, runner's lunge. Good. Draw your sternum bone forward. Reach your left heel longer. And then slow motion from the ground up. Pivot your left heel flat, heel to arch alignment. And windmill yourself open to a warrior two. Good. And we'll bring the hands to the hips. Give the upper body a little rest here. So as that front knee lunges right over the ankle, bring your hands to the bowl, the pelvis once again. Find that neutral pelvic bowl. And notice if that affects that back leg, right? Bring your hands back to your hips. As you get nice and low in your low body, take an inhale, grow taller through your side body, taller to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, side angle pose, hinge forward. Bring your forearm or your hand to your thigh. Good. Keep the collarbones broadening and reach that top arm to the sky. Good. You might reach it up more. You might stay here or roll that top palm forward and inhale that arm alongside the ear. Good. Root your feet down. Widen your mat apart from front to back, back to front. And grow longer to your fingertips. Good. Breathe. Notice if your head is moving forward. What would it, there you go, what would it feel like to draw your neck in line with the rest of the spine? Good. Take a nice inhale together. As you exhale, gaze down, top arm to the sky. Inhale, warrior two, come on up. And straighten your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips. Parallel your feet. You might heel toe your feet a little bit closer here. Good. Tap your elbows back. I want to give the option to interlace the fingers here. It might feel really yummy. Good. Loop the shoulders up, back and onto your back. Take an inhale, lift your heart, look up. And as you exhale, bow forward. Maybe the knuckles lift. You're always welcome to hook your thumbs or hold onto your shirt unless it's super baggy. We often use a strap here as well. Rolling the upper arm bones open, creating freedom in the upper body. Breathe. Good. Let's lower the hands to your low back. Slide them down the sides of the legs, right under your shoulders. As you inhale, press the floor away, lengthen your spine. This time as you exhale, bend into your front knee and slow motion, pivot everything forward to that runner's lunge. So staying close to the earth here. And really make sure you're nice and aligned here. Inner thighs are hugging together. Shoulder blades down your back, spine is nice and long here. Good. Plant your hands down. We'll send that right leg or that front leg up and back, three-legged dog. I think we're all in different legs here. As that top leg reaches back, sink your left heel back and down. Good. You might stay here or bend your top knee. And begin to roll your hip open. And keep reaching that left heel back and down to the earth. You might stay here. Take a little peek underneath your left armpit. See if you can see that right foot. And if you can, begin to reach it back a little bit. And what would it feel like to lift your right thigh bone or that top leg up a little bit? And see what you find. Good. When you're ready, re-square that leg, re-square the hip. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, set the foot down, set the knees down, child's pose. Very, very nice. your wrists here. Good. Very, very nice. Slide your hands back and round yourself up to sit, please. Shift the hips to one side, stretch the legs forward. You might give the knees a little bit of a shake. And in a moment, we're going to make our way onto our backs. I'm going to recommend having a block reachable. You may or may not need it. And when you're ready, bend your knees. And your favorite way, ease yourself all the way back. I'll meet you there. Good. And once you arrive, let's come into constructive rest. So the knees are bending, the feet are flattening, the feet are flat on the earth. And the back of the body melting back towards your yoga mat. And begin to hug your right knee in towards the chest. Give the right knee a good hug, a good squeeze. Flexing your right foot and ankle. And let's cross that foot off the edge of your left thigh, setting up for a figure four shape. You might stay right here or exhale, draw that left thigh bone in, reaching to the back of your left thigh with your hands or a strap. You might hold on to your shin or set that foot down to the floor or a block. 10 breaths. Good. Beginning to focus a little more on the exhale side of the breath. The exhale's the letting go side. It turns on your body's parasympathetic nervous system or your relaxation response. And shoulders are soft. Jaw is soft. Even all the muscles around the eyes are soft. One more breath. Okay. And then with your next exhale, we'll set that left foot back down to the earth. Listen carefully. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. We're going to take a quadricep stretch. So we'll thread that right foot behind your left foot. Reach down with your left hand if that's comfortable. Catch the toes or the top of the foot. And we'll take a little pause here. Now, if this feels too much on that right knee or the quadricep, you might widen the knee a little wider towards the edge of your yoga mat. You might slide a blanket or even a block unless it's too dense under the knee. Or you might come out of it completely, totally fine. Otherwise, the thigh a little more parallel to the top edge of your mat. You might stay right here or allow your left buttocks to get nice and heavy. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, navel to spine, maybe that left knee draws in. You might catch your left knee with your right hand, make a wish. Breathe. And combing out that right quadricep. You might even imagine it was wax melting down towards the knee. Sound is always welcome. If your left foot is lifted on an exhale, set your left foot down. Very slowly unwind your right leg, reach it up to the sky, please. Knee can be soft if you like. Catch the back of your thigh with your hands or a strap. And very slowly flex and point that foot and ankle. flexing that foot, you might relax your arms down. Pivot the toes to the right, heel in. And then pivot the toes in, heel out. Do that a couple times. Toes to the right, heel in. Toes in, heel to the left. And one more time. Good. And then with that right leg up to the sky, we'll pronate and supinate. So draw the big toe side of the foot down and the pinky toe side of the foot down. And go back and forth a couple times. If you find something curious, you might stay there and breathe. So it's a very small action, just through the foot. Good. Great. And then once you feel even, let's catch the back of your thigh with your hands once again. Press the thigh forward into your hands. Allow your right low back to soften towards the earth, maybe the shoulders soften back. And let's come onto the heel of your left foot and slide your left leg long to the top of your yoga mat. Back of the leg all the way back. Option to stay here or take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, maybe that right leg draws back towards the wall behind you. If it feels good, you might walk your hands up the back of that thigh, just an option. If this is really accessible for you, take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, navel towards your spine, maybe you curl your nose towards your knee, just an option, not a challenge. And then slowly walk it all the way down. Let's bend that right knee into the chest. Reach that right arm out to the right. If you know you like support under your right knee for a twist, you might have that block on the left side of your yoga mat. You might have that block on the left side of your yoga mat. Good. Let's take an inhale when you're ready. And as you exhale, invite that right knee a little bit or all the way across the body. Bottom hip rolls under. And you might explore the space to the right side of your body with that right arm. And breathe. You don't need that block, of course, you don't have to use it, but I don't want any pulling in your low back. So if we feel that, we add support. Good. Breathe. Right arm nice and heavy. Wrist heavy. Fingers relaxed. One more full breath here, a nice inhale. Stay as you exhale, navel to spine. And one knee at a time, inhale, come on up. Set the feet down, reset. And give the knees a good hug, a good squeeze. And then we'll plant the feet back down, coming back to that constructive rest. A little pause here. If you found that block handy, you might relocate it to your right side. And when you're ready, we'll draw that left knee in. Draw that left knee in. Flex your left foot and ankle and cross that flex foot off the edge of your right thigh, setting up for a figure four. You might stay here or allow an exhale to draw your right thigh in, catching to the back of the thigh or maybe your shin. And breathe. Nice long exhales. Good. And notice if you're rocking or rolling to one side of the sacrum or the other. Can you keep that triangular plate at the base of the spine nice and neutral? Right kneecap in line with your right mid collarbone. And breathe. A little space in the back of the jaw. Even allowing the inner ears to broaden. One more breath. On an exhale, we'll set that right foot back down to the earth. Inhale that left leg up to the sky. Here's that wonky quadricep stretch. So we'll thread that left foot behind your right foot. You might reach down with your right hand, catch the top of the foot. Now we'll take a little pause here. Just make sure this feels okay on the knee. You might widen, you might support. You might keep that knee a little more centered. And this might be plenty. Allow your right buttocks to be heavy to the earth. And just an option to take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, navel to spine, maybe that right knee draws in. You might catch the kneecap with the left hand and make a wish. Breathe. You might imagine those left quadricep muscles are melting wax, dripping down towards and out the knee. Breathe. If that right foot is lifted, very slowly exhale, set it back down. Unthread that left leg, reach it up to the sky. Catch the back of the thigh with your hands. And we'll flex and point that foot and ankle. And then relax the arms down. We'll pivot the toes out, heel in. And then toes in, heel out. So toes out, heel in. Toes in, heel out. We'll do this one more time. I'm noticing my head is wanting to move in the opposite direction. The body's always trying to find balance. And once you find center here, we'll pronate and supinate. So draw the big toe side down, the pinky toe side down. Go back and forth. If one side needs a little more of a stretch, you might stay and breathe. Good. And then finding a nice flexed foot. Catch the back of that thigh with your hands. And press the thigh forward into your hands, hands back into the hamstrings. The low back is softening. And let's slide that right leg to the top of your yoga mat. Heel is back, thigh bone is back. Take an inhale here, option to stay. As you exhale, invite that left leg back. You might walk your hands up the leg. Keep rolling that outer left hip forward. Good. If this is really accessible, take a nice inhale. And just an option to exhale, navel to spine, curl nose towards a knee, just an option. And if that's you, slowly walk it all the way down. We'll bend that left knee into the chest. Reach that left arm out to the left, take a nice inhale. As you exhale, invite it a little bit or all the way across the body, maybe to support. Bottom hip rolls under. Good. And you might explore the space to the left side of your body with that left arm. And breathe. Good. Left shoulder heavy. Left arm all the way down to the wrist. Heavy. Fingers nice and soft. Breathe. Good. One more breath. Nice inhale. Nice exhale, navel to spine. One knee at a time. Inhale, come on up. Set your feet down, reset your hips and pelvis, and hug your knees all the way into the chest. Give them a good hug, a good squeeze. And then plant the feet flat one more time. Knees are bent, knees are bent. Back of the neck nice and long. And we're going to set up for a supported bridge pose. So without turning your head, find that block. Make sure the head stays nice and neutral here. And you'll lift the hips and slide that block either flat or medium under your sacrum. I like it nice and flat personally, but it's really up to you. The sacrum draping just off the edge of that block. Shoulders soft. You might walk the feet a little bit closer so the ankles are right under your knees here. And what does it feel like just to rest right here? You're welcome to catch your mat with your hands, or you might even interlace your fingers around the block if that feels good. And I want to give the option to stay right here. And we'll turn this into a gentle inversion, so one knee at a time, lifting your knees right over your hips, flexing or flointing your feet, and reach your legs straight up to the sky. Once again, do not turn your head here. If you need to come out of the shape and watch, you do. 10 breaths. The legs softening right down into their sockets. You might choose to stay, or when you're ready, re-bending your knees. And one foot at a time, touch down. Lift the hips, moving your support to the side. Drawing the knees in, you might widen them towards your armpits. You might flex your feet to the sky, finding happy baby pose. Really allowing gravity to hold your arms, so they're drawing the feet down as the feet press up. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And if there's any final movement your body is craving on the journey to Shavasana, please honor that. So taking your time, finding your way into final relaxation. No rush at all. All the best things take time. Good. If you like support behind your knees, you might use your bolster. As you arrive back, if you have any leftover tension, tightness, anything at all, take a nice inhale, draw it up, and out the mouth, let it go. You might do that one more time, smooth inhale. Out the mouth, let it go. And rest. Deepening the breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Circling wrists and ankles. And stretching and yawning. Beginning to bend your knees and rolling to rest on a side of your choosing, using your upper arm as a pillow. And pressing yourself all the way up to a comfortable, tall seat. Maybe the eyes stay closed. Bringing palms together sweetly at the heart. And reconnecting to your intention, dedication, or prayer. And let's seal in our practice together with the sound of one Om. First a breath, take a nice inhale. And let it go. Inhale. Bowing your thinking mind to your heart, honoring that light within, allowing that light to shine brightly for you and everyone you choose to surround yourself with today and the rest of your week. Lifting your chin, and together we say, Namaste.